Priest Lake. One of my Lenten devotionals had a passage a couple days ago that has just continued to resonate with me. I haven't been able to get it out of my head, so I want to share that with you this afternoon. And as I share it, think about passages like Ezekiel 37 with the dry bones coming back to life. Part of what we're doing in this season of Lent, this season of waiting, of fasting, of penitence, is preparing for resurrection, preparing for new life. So just listen as I read a big chunk here. The core truth of our faith is this: the God of the gospel brings life out of death. We can line out the move from death to life physically, historically, literally, metaphorically, symbolically, any way you want. But the truth is a rock-bottom acknowledgement that God can probe into our deepest negations and create new possibility, new space for life, new energy for obedience, new waves of joy. In the Christian tradition, the seal of that deal is Easter morning. On that dread Sunday morning, the earliest church discovered that the Jesus who had been executed by the state was alive and on the loose. Death had no power over God's will for him. The deathly systems of the empire had no grip on his life even through his execution. But in truth, the God of the gospel has been doing this forever. It is this God of the gospel who took primordial chaos in hand, who said, "Let there be light," and formed a dry, ordered, fruitful land. And since that first moment, this same God has been taking our dismal modes of chaos and forming them into launching pads for new life. That is life out of death. It is this God of the gospel who came to that barren, hopeless couple, Abraham and Sarah, in their old age, and gave them a child, an heir, and opened a future for them. And since then, the God of the gospel has been giving people futures when they thought there was no possibility for newness. This is life out of death. It is this God of the gospel who came to the slaves in Egypt, weary of being cheap labor in a harsh production system. God heard the cry of their exploitation, saw their abuse, and came down to deliver them. And since that awesome moment, this emancipatory God has been hearing the cries of exploited people and has been causing exploitative systems of cheap labor to collapse so that people can sing and dance in freedom. That is life out of death. This is the drama of Lent, is it not? It is the journey of relinquishment of old visions of reality that are failed and being surprised by new life given in glad, inconvenient obedience. It is to this move that the God of the gospel invites us again and again. This God is ready to give new life, more ready, as we say, to give than we are to receive. You are the God who makes a way when there is no way. Free us from our anxious intransigence and our impoverished imaginations. Open us to your newness, the gospel gift given over and over and over again. Amen. I encourage you, as we enter the last week of this Lenten season soon, to continue to think about those things that you see as dead in your life, and maybe you see them that way because they are. But there is no death that God is unable to bring life into. Just as he raised Jesus from the dead, just as he brought the bones in the dry valley of Ezekiel back to life, just as he brought Sarah's womb to life, just as he brought life to an enslaved people, more than one time he did that. There is nothing in your life that is beyond the ability of our God to resurrect and to fill with his meaning, his significance, and his power. He will use it for his glory. So as you continue on this week, remember that we believe in a God who brings the dead to life. Hope you have a great rest of your day.